Free NFL picks. This is action here for Sunday, September 17th. Tony T, our NFL pick show here for Sunday action, features all 13 games. Before we get into just a couple of things, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free NFL picks updated all season long. Free picks every day for all the major sports like Major League Baseball, like college football. We have lots of live shows from cappers, many cappers giving out plays on our channel. Great time to subscribe. Also, now if you're just looking for my picks, we've redesigned our YouTube homepage. All of my compilation videos will be located on the top of our YouTube channel. So go to our YouTube page, you're looking for my picks, check the top of it. All my compilation videos are there, my all game videos there. If you click the thumbnail, we have them indexed by game in the text field. So check that out. You can find my plays more easier now on YouTube by going to the homepage. And first line there is my compilation video, so check it out. Also, if you would support our channel with that like, that thumbs up, we greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com. We're a multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers, get signed up to our long-term passes. Hot cappers here like Joseph Schultz, Ramon Scott for the year. Collins with a strong last 30 days. Yours truly up there as well. Joseph up there. Ralph Raymond has been on fire as of Ramon Scott here last 7 days. Walter Tuck doing great. Sean as well. Of course, yesterday, probably with a big day, Sean as well. Click the links, get signed up to our long-term passes. You'll find the latest print picks here center of the page, as well as our tabs for our best bet, our $15 promotional, and our multi-packs, which offer great value. As you scroll down some more, you'll be able to find our pick ticker. If you prefer, you may purchase plays a la carte from our pick ticker with team versus team information. And you can save 20% off all pre and pick packages when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access our page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, get signed up. Always love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments. And we are looking for cappers, so apply on that home page. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this one started. Packers and Falcons NFL pick here for action on Sunday. All right, Green Bay running back Aaron Jones questionable, as is wide receiver Christian Watson. Their left tackle was questionable as well. Defensive starters are healthy. Atlanta has healthy starters on offense. The linebackers out with the corner questionable. Green Bay 1-0 after a 38-20 road win at the Chicago Bears. Packers rushed for just under 3 yards a carry. Defensively, they did allow 4 yards per rush to Chicago with only 189 passing yards on 37 attempts. Green Bay 3 of 3 inside the red zone, had a +2 turnover margin. Jordan Love, 55% completion rate, 9.1 yards per attempt. He passed for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. Atlanta 1-0 after a 24-10 home victory to Carolina. Falcons outscored the Panthers 14-0 in the final quarter. Falcons rushed for 5 yards a carry in the win. Defensively, they allowed 5 yards per rush to the Panthers, but only 127 passing yards on 38 attempts. Falcons were 3 of 3 inside the red zone, had a +3 turnover margin. Desmond Ridder, 15 of 18, 115 yards, a touchdown, only 6.4 yards per attempt. Falcons defended well in their opening week win. The Jones injury was impactful here as Love plays his first true road game and could be without his lead back. It is back-to-back road game for Green Bay and their first-year starting quarterback here as well. But Atlanta was only able to gain 221 yards on the Panthers' defense at home with lack of downfield passing. The play here, Green Bay and Atlanta under 40.5. Raiders and Bills NFL pick here for action on Sunday. Las Vegas wide receiver Jacob Myers is out, their right defensive end out. Buffalo has healthy starters on offense and defense. Las Vegas 1-0, a 17-16 road win at Denver. Raiders' run game sputtered just 61 yards on 29 carries, but the defense allowed 4.5 yards per rush to the Broncos, but only 166 passing yards on 34 attempts. Raiders went 2 of 4 inside the red zone. Jimmy Garoppolo, efficient debut, completing 20 of 26 passes for 200 yards, 7.7 yards per attempt. He had 2 touchdowns and an interception. Garoppolo engineered the fourth quarter game-winning touchdown. Denver was without wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Buffalo fell to 0-1 at 22-16 road defeat on Monday night to the New York Jets. Bills were held just 3 points in the second half. They ran for 4.5 yards a carry. Defensively, they did allow New York nearly 6 yards per carry on the ground, but only 117 passing yards on 22 attempts. Bills have a -3 turnover margin. Josh Allen had 4 turnovers with 3 picks and a lost fumble. He completed 71% of his throws for 236 yards, but only 5.8 yards per attempt, along with a touchdown pass. He rushed it 6 times for 36 yards. Short week for Buffalo. Garoppolo is 11-3 to the spread as a road underdog. Buffalo faced a one-dimensional offense by the Jets and were unable to win with mistakes costly. The play of the Raiders' defense encouraging. Josh Jacobs could do some damage on the Bills' defense that allowed 6.1 yards per carry to the Jets. And of course, Jets utilizing a backup quarterback. There's enough balance on the Raiders' offense to cover this huge number, coupled with improvement defensively. Play here, Las Vegas, plus the 8. Ravens and Bengals NFL pick for Sunday. Baltimore running back J.K. Dobbins out for the season. Their tight end Andrews questionable. Ravens left tackle and center are out. On defense, a corner and free safety are out. Cincinnati are healthy starters on offense and defense. Baltimore 1-0 on the year with their 25-9 home victory at Houston Texans. Ravens put up only 265 yards on the Texans with nearly 3.5 yards per rush. They limited Houston to just 3 yards per rush, 196 passing yards on 44 attempts. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 22 for 169 yards and an interception. He rushed for 38 yards on 6 carries. Cincinnati 0-1 after their 24-3 road defeat at Cleveland. Poor offensive showing for Cincinnati. They finished with 142 yards, 75 rushing on 20 carries. They gave up 5.1 yards per rush to the Browns with 144 passing on 29 attempts. Joe Burrow hit on 14 of 31 for 82 yards and a minuscule 2.6 yards per pass attempt. The Bengals sat their starters during the preseason. They kind of showed last week in their play. Burrow has been a good bounce-back quarterback. 5 starters out for Baltimore and healthy starters for the Bengals. Cincinnati has won 4 of 5 against the Ravens. Burrow, lifetime 3-0 against the Ravens at home. Past 3 home wins against the Ravens have been by 7 points or greater. Play here, Cincinnati, minus the 3. Seahawks and Lions NFL pick here for action on Sunday. Seattle left tackle on offense is out. On defense, a safety with the linebacker questionable. Detroit has their left tackle out with starters healthy on defense. Seattle fell to 0-1 after a 30-13 home defeat to the LA Rams. Seahawks have lost 5 of 7 dating back to last year. Seahawks rushed for over just over 4 yards a carry. They limited the Rams to under 3 yards per attempt, but 334 passing yards on 38 attempts there, and that was the rush game to the Rams to just under 3 yards. That was. All right, Geno Smith, 16 of 26, 112 yards, a touchdown, only 4.3 yards per attempt. Seattle allowed LA 3 of 3 inside the red zone. Seattle was without both offensive tackles by the second half to injuries. Detroit 1-0 after a 21-20 home victory at Kansas City. The Lions rushed for 3.5 yards a carry. They did limit the Chiefs' ground attack and held defending Super Bowl champion to 226 passing yards on 39 attempts. Jared Goff completed 63% of his passes with a touchdown and 7.2 yards per attempt. Dating back to last season, the Seahawks, again, we talked they've lost 7 of 10. Seattle had just 95 yards passing against the Rams last week. Lions extra rest, and they put on a really good defensive performance on Kansas City. The Lions had success moving the football through the air on the Chiefs. Goff last year at home against Seattle threw for 378 yards, 9.7 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns and a pick. The Lions finished with 520 yards for the game. Goff in his career 15-9 to the spread as a home favorite. Player Detroit minus the 4.5. Colts and Texans NFL pick. Here we go for action on Sunday. Indianapolis tight end and left guard are questionable. Colts defensive starters are healthy. Texans quarterback Stroud and left tackle questionable. On defense, both safeties are out. Indianapolis 0-1 after a 31-21 home defeat to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts have lost 8 straight dating back to last season. They rushed for under 3 yards a carry. They allowed 342 yards to the Jaguars with 237 passing on 32 attempts. Colts allowed 3 of 3 red zone conversions to the Jags. Rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson hit on 65% of his passes for 223 yards with 6 yards per attempt. He averaged 6 yards per attempt with a touchdown and a pick. He suffered a knee bruise late in the game, but told the media that he'll be fine. Houston fell to 0-1, 25-9 road defeat to the Baltimore Ravens. Texans offense posted 268 yards, under 4 yards a carry, offensive on the ground. Defensively, they limited the Ravens to 265 yards. Now, rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, 28 of 44 for 242 yards, averaging only 5.5 yards per attempt. He did turn the ball over with a fumble. Stroud is dealing with shoulder injury, was limited to Friday's practice. Davis Mills or Case Keenum are options at quarterback. Richardson showed flashes facing a quality opponent in his Colts debut. The Texans averaged just 4 yards per play last week. Colts' run defense was impressive a week ago. Prefer Richardson here. Play here in Indianapolis, +1. Chiefs and Jaguars NFL pick for action on Sunday. Kelce questionable for Kansas City. Reports are he's leaning towards playing. Okay, there you go there with Kelce. The Chiefs' offensive starters are healthy. Jacksonville center and right guard are questionable. The defensive starters are healthy. Kansas City fell to 0-1 with a 21-20 home defeat to the Detroit Lions. The Chiefs were without their tight end Kelce and defensive end Jones. The team rushed for 4 yards per attempt. They did limit the Lions to just over 3 yards per rush with 250 passing on 35 attempts. Each team had 1 turnover, but the Lions returned an interception for a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes completed 54% of his passes with 5.8 yards per attempt. He finished with 226 passing yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception due to a drop pass by his receiver. Jacksonville 1-0 after their 31-21 road victory at Indianapolis. Jaguars rushed for only 3 yards a carry. They did limit Indianapolis to under 3 yards per rush. Jacksonville allowed the rookie quarterback Richardson to 215 passing yards on 39 attempts. Trevor Lawrence gave a strong performance, completing 75% of his passes with 241 yards, 7.5 yards per attempt. He finished with 2 touchdowns and an interception. Kansas City 3-11 to the spread against the AFC. If Kelce plays, the question is how effective, right? There is a lot to like from this Jaguars offense. Jacksonville in their playoff loss at Kansas City were able to generate balance offensively and improved on the ground from their meeting 2 months earlier. Under Mahomes, the Chiefs are 13-18 to the spread as a road favorite. Lawrence, historically at home, 7-5 to the spread as a home dog. Would rather take the points here with the Jags with possible heat and wet weather in Jacksonville. The climate will play to their advantage. Play here Jacksonville +3.5. Bears and Buccaneers NFL pick for Sunday. Chicago right guard doubtful. Their defensive starters are healthy. Tampa Bay offensive starters healthy, but on defense, their left defensive end and corner are out. Chicago fell to 0-1 with their 38-20 home defeat to Green Bay. The Bears rushed for 4 yards per attempt. Defensively, they limit the Packers on the ground to under 3 yards a carry. The Bears surrendered 237 yards passing on 27 attempts. Justin Fields completed 65% of his passes for 5.8 yards per attempt. He had a touchdown and interception and passed for 216 yards. He rushed for 59 yards on 9 carries. The Bears allowed 3 of 3 red zone conversions and had a -2 turnover margin. Tampa Bay 1-0 after their 20-17 road win at Minnesota. The Buccaneers finished with 242 offensive yards with 73 rushing on 33 carries. They limited the Vikings' ground attack to under 3 yards per rush and allowed 328 yards passing on 44 attempts. Baker Mayfield 21-34 with 2 touchdowns and only 5.1 yards per attempt. He finished with 173 passing yards. The Bucs had a +2 turnover margin. Buccaneers benefited by the Vikings' mistakes and misfortune. Their offensive numbers were not good. Justin Fields showed some balance of the offense last week and is the mobile quarterback here. Tampa Bay defense gave up a lot of yardage to Minnesota along with 6 yards per play. Baker Mayfield 8-15 to the spread as a home favorite. Play here Chicago +2.5. Chargers and Titans NFL pick here for action on Sunday. Los Angeles running back Austin Eckler out on defense. The linebackers out. Joey Bosa is questionable. Tennessee receiver Hopkins is questionable. Their left guard out. On defensive safety and corner out. Los Angeles fell to 0-1 after their 36-34 home defeat to the Miami Dolphins. Los Angeles saw massive improvement to their ground game with 234 yards rushing on 40 attempts. On defense, they limited the Dolphins to 3.5 yards per rush, but 466 yards passing on 45 attempts. Justin Herbert, 22-33 for 229 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 6.9 yards per attempt. There were 7 lead changes in this exciting game. Los Angeles did have a +2 turnover margin. Tennessee fell to 0-1 after their 16-15 road defeat at New Orleans. 8 straight losses dating back to last season. Titans rushed for just under 5 yards a carry, but they limited the Saints to under 3 yards per rush, but 282 passing yards on 33 attempts. Titans were 0-3 in the red zone and made 5 of 5 field goals. Ryan Tannehill went just 16-34 for 198 yards and 3 interceptions, plus took 3 sacks. And the Chargers' offense was effective last week, moving the football on the ground and air. Eckler, I rate him as a bit overrated. Not much between the tackles. Kind of a receiver playing the running back. I think he's replaceable. Dating back to last season, the Chargers have lost 3 straight, all high-scoring affairs by 3 points or fewer. Also dating back to last season, they've scored 28 or greater points in 4 straight games. Herbert 9-3 to the over as a road favorite. Tannehill 8-4 to the over as a home dog. Chargers defense was torched last week. The Titans offense can get better here, but they will have trouble stopping the Chargers offense with 2 starters in the secondary out. Play here, Los Angeles, Tennessee, over 45.5. Giants and Cardinals NFL pick. Here we go. Action on Sunday. New York left tackle questionable on defense and linebackers doubtful. Arizona starters are healthy on offense. On defense and linebackers out with a defensive tackle and free safety questionable. New York 0-1 after their 40-0 home defeat to the Dallas Cowboys. New York gained just 4 yards per rush. They're terrible in the passing game. The Giants allowed 4 yards per rush to the Cowboys with 143 passing yards on 25 attempts. They had a -3 turnover margin. Daniel Jones went 15 of 28 for 104 yards and 2 picks. He did run it 13 times for 43 yards. New York gave up first quarter touchdowns via the interception and a blocked field goal. The game was played under rainfall. Arizona 0-1 after a 20-16 road defeat to Washington Commanders. The losing streak is 8 games dating back to last season. Arizona rushed for just under 4 yards a carry with a very poor passing performance. Defensively, they held Washington to just over 3 yards a carry with 156 passing yards on 31 attempts. The Cardinals did register 6 quarterback sacks. Joshua Dobbs, 21 of 30 for 132 yards, only 4.4 yards per attempt. Dating back to last season, the Giants have been outscored 78-7 in their past 2 games. Arizona did put up a good defensive effort on the Commanders. It is the offense that's concerning for the Cardinals, as well as the 3 starters on defense banged up. The Giants suffered a total embarrassment. They were pounded in back-to-back games. But remember, those losses came to good divisional foes, by the way, before we get too excited about pairing those games from last season, that playoff game in the game last week. It was the Eagles and the Cowboys that put up those numbers on the Giants. And this is a far different team here with the Cardinals. A huge, massive drop down in class here. Again, it was a driving rain for the New York offense to work in last week. Had some fluky things happen. This is the ultimate get-right game play here. New York, -4. '49ers and Rams NFL pick for Sunday. San Francisco starters on offense and defense healthy. Los Angeles receiver Nakoa questionable on defensive linebacker and safety are questionable. San Francisco 1-0 with their 30-7 road win at Pittsburgh. The 49ers had 34 rushing attempts with 188 yards. They allowed only 41 rushing yards to the Steelers with 198 passing on 46 attempts. Brock Purdy 19-29 for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 7.6 yards per attempt. Steelers didn't get a first down until the final 2 minutes of the first half. Los Angeles 1-0, a 30-13 road win in Seattle. Rams were limited on the ground to under 2.5 yards a carry. They held the Seahawks to only 180 yards passing. Only 180 yards with 95 passing yards on 26 attempts. Rams were 3 of 3 inside the red zone. Matthew Stafford 24 of 38 for 334 yards, 8.8 yards per attempt. Cooper Kupp missed the game with a hamstring injury and will miss the next 3 games. Dating back to last season, the 49ers have won 9 of 10. Rams put on a monster defensive effort last week on the road. Back-to-back road gains for San Francisco after a long trip to Pittsburgh. Rams protected Stafford and the offense performed well. Play here Los Angeles at plus the 7.5. Jets and Cowboys NFL pick here for action on Sunday. New York quarterback Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Running back Hall and both their offensive tackles questionable. The defensive starters are healthy. New York Jets are 1-0 after a 22-16 home overtime victory to the Buffalo Bills. Jets rushed for 6 yards a carry with limited production from the passing game. They surrendered 4.5 yards per rush to the Bills with 217 passing yards on 41 attempts. New York had a +3 turnover margin. Zach Wilson, 14 of 21 for 140 yards with a touchdown and interception. He averaged a 6.7 yards per pass attempt. Wilson is in for an injured Aaron Rodgers, who's lost for the season. The Jets win on a 65-yard punt return in overtime. Dallas 1-0 after their 40-0 road win at the New York Giants. The Cowboys built that 26-0 lead after one quarter. The team ran for 4 yards a carry. They held New York to 4 yards a carry on the ground, but only 63 passing yards on 30 attempts. Dak Prescott, 13 of 24 for 143 yards with a touchdown. He averaged just 6 yards per pass attempt. The game was played in heavy rain at times. Dallas had 2 first-quarter touchdowns by a blocked field goal and also an interception return for a TD. The Cowboys, that +3 turnover margin, the New York attempted only 22 passes last week. It will be a conservative game plan for the Jets in this spot. The Cowboys rushed 30 times last week as the team wants to preserve their defense by running more. New York will have trouble scoring here, and Dallas, well, with the lead, will milk clock and continue that plan, that season plan, and running the football more to preserve their defense. The play here will be New York and Dallas under 38.5. Commanders and the Broncos NFL pick for action Sunday. Washington and Denver starters on offense and defense are healthy. Washington 1-0 after their 20-16 home victory to Arizona. Commanders rushed for 3 yards a carry in the ground, kind of below par work from their passing game. They did limit Arizona to under 4 yards per rush with 115 passing yards on 30 attempts. Commanders did allow 6 sacks and had a -1 turnover margin. Sam Howell, 19 of 31 for 202 yards with a touchdown and pick, plus a lost fumble. He averaged 6.5 yards per attempt on the ground. Denver 0-1 after a 17-16 home defeat to Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos rushed for 4.5 yards per attempt in the game. They did shut down the Raider run game for 2 yards an attempt and 200 passing yards on 26 attempts. Russell Wilson, 27 of 34 for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged only 5.2 yards per attempt on the game passing. A missed extra point was costly for Denver, by the way. Jerry Jeudy did not play in the game. Now, both offenses gained well over 300 yards last week. The well below. Both offenses below 300 yards last week. The Commanders' defense shined above any of these units on the field here. Sam Howell 2-0 straight up as a starter. Russell Wilson just 12 and 18 to the spread as the home favorite. Play here will be on Washington plus 3.5. Dolphins and Patriots NFL pick. Here we go. Action on Sunday. Miami has a left tackle questionable. On defense, linebacker is questionable. New England wide receiver Devontae Parker questionable. Both guards and left tackle are questionable. On defense, a corner is questionable. Miami 1-0 with their 36-34 road win at Los Angeles Chargers. Dolphins rushed for 3.5 yards a carry with a monster passing game. They did allow LA nearly 6 yards per rush on 40 carries, along with 200 passing yards on 33 attempts. A huge performance by quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, 28 of 45 for 66 yards, 466 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception. He averaged 10.4 yards per attempt. New England 0-1 after a 25-20 home defeat to Philadelphia Eagles. The Patriots fell behind 16-zip after one quarter, whittled their way back in contention. New England rushed for under 4 yards a carry with high volume passing. They held the Eagles to under 4 yards per carry with 154 passing yards on 33 attempts. Mac Jones completed 35 of 54, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. He averaged 5.9 yards per attempt in the game. Those Patriots injuries on the offensive line are a massive concern. Respect the work by the Patriots defense in Philadelphia. But the Dolphins defense, they were on the field a lot. 77 snaps last week, but still early in the season. Of course, they were on that cross-country flight, playing a back-to-back road game. It is a divisional foe. Coming off a loss here, Patriots, of course, we know it's early in the season, so these travel spots may not impact much here. Mac Jones, though, here's the kicker here. Mac Jones, 0-6 straight up, 1-5 the spread as a home underdog. Tua looks sharp. We'll back him to overcome this bad travel spot. Miami is a healthier team. Tua, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 to the spread against the Bill Belichick team. Play here Miami at -2.5. All right, that was our NFL pick show here for action on Sunday. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have free NFL picks updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports like Major League Baseball, like college football. We have lots of live shows on our channel with lots of cappers giving out picks, making it a great time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel with that like, that thumbs up, we greatly appreciate it. Now, if you want to find my picks on YouTube to make it easier, we've organized it a lot better. All of my compilation videos are now on the top of my YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, Tony'sPicks.com, the first line says Tony's compilation videos. My all sport videos up there, indexed. So click the thumbnail, look at the text field. You'll find every pick indexed for you. So it's right there, easy to find the game you're looking for. So just go to the home page of YouTube. The first line there says Tony's video compilations. You'll find all my picks, all my video picks right there on the first line of the YouTube page. And of course, you got to click the thumbnail and then look in the index into the text field for each pick if you're looking for each individual pick, or just watch the whole video. You get all the picks that way. So easy to find my picks now on the YouTube channel. Thanks to you guys for your comments, suggestions. We took action, and thank you for that. And of course, don't forget to visit our site, Tony'sPicks.com, for our best plays. Our premium picks are there, and use that promo code Tony T at checkout. You'll save that 20% off. You can find the link to our site in the text field. I'm Tony T. Back tomorrow with more free picks.